So how long will it take the National Visa Center, NVC, to schedule your visa interview in October 2024? I've done quite a few videos about these topics in the past, and in this video I want to go over the NVC backlog report as they release every month and see how many cases were documented complete, still waiting for an interview, how many cases were actually scheduled for an interview in the past month, and how many cases are still sitting there and waiting. So make sure you watch this video all the way to the end, because I'm going to go over the entire backlog report. I'm going to go over what happens at NVC once they receive your case, and finally, how these embassies or consulates decide when to schedule that visa. So on average, it should take the National Visa Center about 45 days to get your case documented complete, as long as you send them all the documents, complete the form correctly online, and have no back and forth between you and the National Visa Center. Therefore, it's important for you to do it correctly in the beginning if you want to minimize the time that they're going to work on your case. So make sure the first thing, it's your homework to do it correctly. What other factors will cause these cases to sit longer at National Visa Center? First of all, it depends on the type of case you have. If you're filing for a spouse F2A or your green card holder, if you're filing for your parent, if you're filing for a brother or sibling, if you're filing for a brother or sister, F4 category, these cases are going to take much longer versus if you're immediate relative, a spouse of a U.S. citizen, those cases will take faster. So the type of visa that you're dealing with will also determine the speed of your case moving through the National Visa Center. The second factor is, what is the country that you're dealing with? If your country is like Pakistan or the Philippines or India or Nigeria, those countries typically take longer because they have a bigger backlog at the embassies locally. So you have to realize that if you're from Nigeria, compare yourself to somebody from France, the wait time is going to be much longer for somebody from Nigeria. That's just the reality today. And finally, you have to remember, you have to make sure that you move your documents faster by making sure that everything is done correctly from day one. Whatever you send to the USCIS, whatever you send to the National Visa Center, to minimize mistakes and delays. So what happens after National Visa Center process your immigrant visa once they deem your case documented complete? At that point, they have to wait for an embassy to open an interview slot. Until that point, your case is going to be one of those 450,000 cases that I mentioned earlier, sitting there waiting. Once the interview is open, your case will be scheduled, and then you'll move to the second list, 45,000 cases. Now remember that before 2019, on average, they would schedule about 60,000 people every month to get interviews. Right now we're about 45,000. So if we go through this year, we get to the 50,000s, then by the end of 2025, we should be getting back to normal, to what we've seen before 2019. But just to give you a comparison, so right now they're scheduling about 45,000. Last year was about lower 30,000s, and hopefully in about a year from now, they'll go back to normal, which is about 65,000 per month to be scheduled for interviews. To answer the question, how long is it going to take for visa processing for your case, it really depends on all these factors that I mentioned. I think it's important for you to understand that, because people get frustrated and say, well, what at that point, which point I should move my case to a different embassy? Well, it depends. If you're sitting and waiting for so long and you see others maybe getting interviews for different categories or not even getting any interviews, maybe it will be an opportunity for you to explore maybe a different consulate. Maybe you've done everything you could and your case is still stuck. Maybe it's an opportunity for you to file a lawsuit using a mandamus opportunity, using a mandamus litigation option. It works for people who are severely delayed. Every case is different. The bottom line is that it's important for you to watch these updates so you can see where are people in the line right now, where are people getting scheduled. And if your case is really taking too long and you consulted with an attorney and we determined that it's enough, we tried everything, we tried to expedite, we tried to move a case potentially, nothing worked, then the lawsuit, the mandamus, can work to force the government to do what they're supposed to do and schedule that final interview. So once again, if you need help with your immigration matter, send me a text, 619-483-4549. I'm here to help you and look forward to be able to be of assistance to you. Thanks for watching my videos. Leave me a comment with any of your questions, and I'll see you in the next one.